Hey everyone, it's Karuta and welcome to my channel. As a start to this channel, I will be covering various spots within Discord, the functions, and etc. etc. Starting off, I will be covering Karuta bot. It is a well-known bot which currently has over 90,000 total characters and over 300,000 total members within its main server, Karuta Hub. I myself am a former support member, and I have seen a few videos on YouTube about Karuta, but they're rather dated, so I am going to make an updated one for you guys. So I have created a new server for this purpose, and I have laid out all of the basics for a new upcoming member. So firstly, you will have the Karuta main rules. These are the 3 top rules. And if you abide by them, you shouldn't have any issues. If you are openly breaking these rules, you will get blacklisted, which will prevent you from using the bot. So the first one would be no form of automation botting, such as macro or self-bot. That is using a bot to auto-drop or auto-grab, doing anything that's you're not doing yourself. Is botting and will get you blacklisted, along with alting, which is using more than one account to drop the cards and grab on a main, or to scam other people. Of course, that will get you blacklisted. You're only permitted to have one account through Karuta. And then, of course, any server that is in violation of Discord's TOS will get you blacklisted, along with potentially that whole Discord. Anyone that uses Karuta could get blacklisted as well. So to begin, you will need to use K exclamation point, which is the prefix you'll want to verify. It will send you a message saying to check your DM to proceed with verification. This is what it would look like. So after you click that, it will ask you, do you want to go to this website? Click yes, and it will pop you up with this. So it's to unlock all features. If you do not get this verified, you can't drop in other servers other than Karuta Hub, and it limits like other features like trading and such. So you'll go ahead and click verify. It says if you're using a VPN, you will get permanently blocked, so I don't recommend doing that. Sometimes it will deny. And so they've got a tag in Karuta Hub that says that the developers restrict access to certain groups of players from playing Karuta to protect the integrity of the game and economy. And it says the restrictions are not public, but a broad criteria is used, and some players will get barred from playing because of this, and that's just unfortunately how they handle the situation at the moment. No one can help you with that. Support and the community manager can't reverse that, and they can't auto-verify you. So please don't go into the Karuta Hub and be asking people to verify you, because that's just not something they can do, and continuing to beg them will lead in you getting muted or potentially banned. So for going into, assuming you've been verified, for the list of commands you can K-help, and it will DM you the whole list of commands, and this is a screenshot of what that looks like. It's got everything from setup to the economy to clans, albums, you name it, it's there. But I've posted it here for ease of access. So after all of that, and you look through all of the commands, first thing you want to do is drop. So it is K drop, and it will drop you all of these cards. So as you can see, one of them looks a little bit different. We'll talk about that later. Below here you will have the parent number, and then next to it you will have its addition number. So you can see all of, got 1, 1, 1, and then you have 1 addition 3. So I'd taken the addition 3, and it says that I took the card, and then it shows the card's code, and then it shows the condition that it dropped in, and mint condition is the highest condition. Going down, if you want to look at the card, you will K view, and that will pull up this. It'll show who owns the card, show the card code, the condition of the card, which 4 stars is mint. Then it will show the print number, the edition number, the series, and then the name. And then the picture that's right here is now blown up. If you scroll down, you will have the card info. So it shows everything about the card itself. So from what we saw up here, it is now transferred down here with the code, quality, print edition, series name. Shows the date that it was dropped on and the time. It shows the server ID, so this would be the ID of this server. And then it will show who owns the card, who grabbed the card, and who dropped the card. Occasionally there will be just owned by and grabbed by because there are activity drops, so it will say that the card dropped due to activity, and then just who grabbed it and who owns it. So I could have someone else drop the card, and then I could grab the card, and if I give the card to someone else, it will show dropped by is whoever dropped the card, show my name of who grabbed it, and then it will show the tag of who currently owns that card. It shows what it was dropped in, so it was dropped in the best condition, and then it shows how long it took me to grab this card. So if I do K worker information, which is more for a job board, which I can put in a later video, it shows the character name and its code, and then the current effort it has, whether it's healthy or injured, which would refer to the job board, and then the effort modifiers. So the base value is 34, and that's all based on its burn value. So the dropper and the grabber, that will always be S unless it was transferred and you are not the dropper nor the grabber, and then it will be F. So I could be the grabber, which would have S, but if I did not drop the card, it would show F, and then vice versa. If you go down to toughness, that's based on the fight size. So since no one fought me off for this card, the toughness is F. But if, for instance, it was Gojo or a very popular card, and I had 20 people fighting me off, then its toughness could be up to S. There is a way to get the toughness up, but you have to become the Koibito by visiting it, and I can put that in an additional video. Okay, quickness. It's based on the grab speed, so the faster you grab it, the best quickness it will have. It took me quite a bit to grab it, so it's going to be F. After you have that ranking, it's not going to change. Then you have vanity. That's based on its print number, so the lower the better. If we go up here, the print is 6,362, so that is considered a high print, which is not very good. So therefore, its vanity will be at the lowest at a D. Vanity can get higher over time, but to an extent it will never get S unless it is like print 1, which of course is only one of that card, so if you don't have it, you'll probably never get S vanity. But over time, as more prints get generated, your vanity will go up, but it's quite slow unless you have a low print. Okay, style is based on die and frame. They say all are equal, but it kind of depends. Frame-wise, they are all equal. It doesn't matter if you have a gem, an event, or a bit frame. As long as there's a frame on it, it will count. Die is where it gets a little iffy. You have mystic dies, and then you have regular dies. So of course, mystics are worth a lot more. So if you have a mystic die and a frame on it, then your style will be S. But if you were to have a regular die and then a frame on it, it would be for, say, A, because the mystic is better than a regular die. But the color of the die does not matter. Same with the frame. The type of frame doesn't matter. As long as you have both of them, mystic and frame, it will be S. That is the quickest way to get it up there. Okay, purity is based on its original quality. Higher is better. So purity is S because we dropped it in mint condition, and it will vary between what you drop it on. And then the wellness is based on its total effort and health status. So its total effort right now is 65 and it's healthy. So if I were to put it on my job board and I were to work and it were to get injured, that would take down its effort, because at that point its wellness is no longer healthy. Collection. Assuming you've already grabbed multiple cards, or even if you've grabbed one, if you do K collection, it will show all of the cards that you owned. This list is the tags, so I've got all of these tagged. This one and these two are blank because there's no tag connected to it. And I can go into tags in another video because they're kind of extensive with that. Okay, so for burning, assuming that you do not like this card, you don't want it, you have the option to burn it. So this is a good way to, if someone wants to buy a card from you for burn price, a good way to see it, you can just K burn, if it was a recent grab, or K burn, and then the card code, which would be up here as well. And it will say that if you want to burn it, you will receive this much gold and this dust. You will always get one dust, but the dust of what it's currently at. So since it dropped mint, I'll get one mint dust for it. But the gold varies. So I canceled it there, but if I wanted to burn it, I would get all that for it. Say this card has been burned, so red versus green. If you go into your inventory, of course you can't really tell on here, but I would have received that 135 and then that one mint dust. So you can see, you probably can't see, I had gained that gold, and then if you go down, I had gained the dust as well. I had 15 before, now I've got 16. So I will get more into inventory items a little bit later on, like when we go into the shops, because there's quite a lot to cover, so we'd be here for ages if I went through everything. So for the reminders of each thing, you would have K remind, and it would show you all of the reminders that they're able to remind you of. So your daily, your vote, drop, grab, work, visit. So I currently only have my daily, my vote, and my work active. But if I wanted to enable it for, say, my drop, then I'd say, okay, remind drop, and then it will say I will now be reminded via DM when my drop is available. So if we go over here, this is a while ago, so it says my drop is now off cooldown, so I will be able to go and drop again. And to turn it off, you would just do that command again, and then it will say that I will not be reminded on my drop. And so you can do it with any of those. Me personally, I just do work, vote, and daily because that's the ones I grind the most. My drop and grab cooldown are sped up because I've got certain perks on, which I will show later on, so I don't like to have those active. It kind of spams the DMs. Cooldowns are for your grab and your drop. It's an easy way of not having the whole list of everything there if you just want to know about if you can drop and grab. Okay, cooldowns. Okay, so this is where it was dated from the past videos that I saw on YouTube. So the past videos I saw were up to edition 2. There's currently 4 editions now, so I will show the difference between each one. So this is edition 1. You can see the outside, it's kind of plain. There's not much to it, it's just bland. But when you go to edition 2, and you can see the edition right here, edition 2, it's got like a gold to it, and the corners look a little bit different. It's more curved on the edge. But you can tell there's a very big difference between each card. But edition 3, now you've really got a big difference on the edge. You still got that gold on the inside, but the outside looks more metally, like robotic. So that's edition 3. And then with edition 4, it's a really big difference. More gold, got orange at the top. The corners are a lot more sharp. So this recently came out, like within the past week. So most of your edition 4s will be either a low print, a single print, or a mid print. I don't think we've gotten quite to high print yet. And this is another confusing thing that was said in other videos. This was a message from the Karuta bot owner. To calculate the chance for any individual card to drop as a specific edition, take the edition number and divide it by the sum of all available editions for that character. So they did an example with Gojo, but I'll do it with Clear. So they're edition 4, which means they have edition 1, 2, and 3 on them already. So you would add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which will give you 10. So therefore, if you wanted to drop edition 1 of Clear, you would have a 10% chance because you would take edition 1, so 1, divided by 10, which is the sum. So you have a 10% chance. Meanwhile, with edition 4 of Clear, you would have a 40% chance to drop. That doesn't mean that you can expect to see 40% of cards each drop to be in edition 4, because when cards are dropped, they're rolled based on the character, not on the edition. So there are multiple cards per drop, so take that into consideration. These rates are per card, not per drop. And then, as I said earlier, there are currently 90,000 total characters in Karuta. Therefore, if you look to drop the edition 1 card of any specific character, with all 4 editions, you have a 1 in 900,000 chance. And he's saying that because they've seen players saying that edition 1s aren't really worth much, but in this next one, seeing an edition 1 card drop for any well-known character is going to be extremely rare moving forward, and the curve will only get steeper with future editions. So be sure to take pure collection value into consideration. Additionally, as he stated before, they do intend to give early edition cards gameplay value in a future update. So if we go up, this is print 747 of edition 1. So not only is it semi-rare because I am the only one that has 747, and that's not saying that like everyone before me who had grabbed it before that didn't burn it or not grab it. And if you burn it or you don't grab it, then that print of that card does not exist anymore. There's no way to get that back, and it won't reprint. So for all I know, I could have the lowest print. Who knows? But as he's saying, is getting further on edition 1, especially if it's like a low print or a mid print or single print, they will become more valuable than, say, an edition 4 would. Not saying that they're not valuable, but they've been in the game longer, and if you can manage to get a smaller print of that, then that's quite an accomplishment. Going on to user info of a specific person. This will show the statistics for the person. You can tag them, or you can just do it like this and get your own info. This shows, and I've done quite a lot, so yours probably won't look like this. This is part of your clan, but the main ones you'll see would be like cards burnt, cards dropped, cards grabbed. But it shows everything. Shows the amount of tickets you've spent, trades you've completed, if you've rolled any trimmed, which only Corbitos can do, how many times you've voted. It does not show anything having to do with gems, because that refers to IRL currency, and the owner doesn't really want to get into, who has more wealth than another person. It's just they want to keep it in game. if you click the star over here, it will take you into an effect for that user. So I've got quite a bit of effects added. It will show your licenses and your permits, which have to be updated, but then you also have blessings, which can be bought with gems. So I've got dexterity on it and generosity. These are the ones I'd probably recommend the most, because it would cut your cooldowns in half, and then with generosity and evasion, you have a 25% chance to avoid triggering a cooldown, so you can drop and grab again with no cooldown. I would say abundance is also a really good one, so you can drop 4 cards instead of 3, because 3 is the average. With dexterity and leadership, since it cut it in half, the drop typically is 30 minutes and the grab typically is 10, I want to say. Yes, 10. So that would cut it in half, so you wait for 5 minutes, 5 to 10, and then you wait for 15 for the drop. But that is pretty much the basics on Karuta. Feel free to comment or join my server. I will link it down below. This is the easiest way to get a hold of me. If you have anything else that you'd like me to make a video on, just let me know and I can definitely do that. But thank you for watching.